Do you like photography? If you do, you must know that in photography, there are two kinds of images. The image on the background and the image in the foreground. If we want to focus on the image on the foreground and the front, we usually zoom in on the image. But the question remains, how do we focus on the background when there's an image in the foreground? And that's a challenge. Some 2,000 years ago, the Jews have a ways of zooming in on the background by blurring the image on the foreground. The only way we can focus on the image in the background is actually by blurring the image on the foreground. John chapter 19 verse 31. Now it was the day of preparation, and the next day was to be a special Sabbath, because the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies left on the crosses during the Sabbath. They asked Pilate to have the legs broken down and the bodies taken down. The soldiers therefore came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with Jesus, and then those of the other. We see that this is a Sabbath, and this is not just a regular Sabbath. This is a Sabbath, and it also happens to be on a Passover. And so seeing the bodies, three bodies on the crosses in the city is actually, it's a gross image. It's like an EU moment, you know. It's supposed to be a Passover. The people are coming from out of town and celebrating in Jerusalem, and yet they have to see three bodies hanging on the cross. That's such a disruption in the Passover. And that's what the Jews are thinking. Hey, why don't we break the legs of those three people so that they can die soon and we can take them out on the cross. They tried to break the two thieves, but when they get to Jesus, Jesus already gave his life away. Jesus already died. Sadly, the Jews are so concerned about the Sabbath and the Passover that they want to kill the Savior of the world. They are so focused on the background. The background is the Sabbath and the Passover, but they forgot the image in front of them, the Savior himself. The Passover lamb is in the foreground, yet they blur it in. They only focus the Sabbath on the background and the Passover on the background. Jesus is in the picture, but he is blurred. My question to you, is Jesus in your life? Is he the focus of your life, or he's just in the picture? Is he in your job, or is he the focus of your job, or is he just in the picture? Is he in your marriage, or he's just in the picture? My question to you is he the focus of your life? If you want to know more about Jesus and to know more about him, of his love, of his grace, and of his power, if you need miracles and you want to get to know more about him, you can study with us. You can contact this link and this phone number, and then we will be more than happy to study with you and to pray for you, and to pray with you and to fellowship with you. May God bless us.